So maybe you've built your brand on a budget. Here are your next steps. So this is part 3 in a series I've been doing on building your brand without a big budget. And so if you haven't caught the first 2 episodes yet, I highly recommend doing that. This is definitely tailing off those because what I want to share with you in this episode is what to do next, because you can have a great brand, but there's 2 things you really need to consider before you go creating all these graphics from it. So I've got a little polish pass series of questions I want to make sure that I ask you. Plus at the very end, I'm going to share with you some questions I'm going to ask you to help you work through making sure that your graphics are showing up professionally, even if you've already got a great brand. And then I want to share with you one of the biggest and what I believe one of the most overlooked things that no one is talking about when it comes to building a brand and graphics in places like Canva for your business. And the good news is again, this little hack that I'm going to share with you, it costs nothing, but it does need to be intentional. It does need to be something that you do. So right now, do you need more? Do you need to invest more? Or do you just need to focus on the right things? Let's make sure you're doing that in this episode. Let's dive in. So hi, if you've gotten to part 3 in this and still haven't met me, it's great to have you here. I do recommend listening to those past few episodes. We will link them in the show notes for you. But pretty much, my name is Jacqui and I am a graphic designer who is obsessed with helping everyday business owners create their own incredible branding and graphics, and potentially on a budget. So I want to make sure I close this series out properly, because you can have a really great brand, but if you don't know how to apply it, things are going to get missed. So I want to share with you something called a polish pass. It's going to take you just 5 minutes to check on your designs to make sure that they are looking polished. And so I want you to get in the habit of every time you create a graphic, run these 5 questions through your mind to check that your design is polished. And when a design is polished, do you know what that means? Your designs are more likely going to capture attention for the right reasons, to not get missed, to not get written off as amateur or untrustworthy, but actually start attracting and connecting and converting your audience. So the first thing I want you to look at when you've got a design you're wanting to put the polish pass through is your font sizing. Now, I haven't spoken about this one yet. I've got a few others that I have spoken about in this series already, but this first one I haven't. And that is there a clear difference in sizing between things like your heading and any other text on that design? A big mistake I see business owners making is not having a big level of contrast between the headings and the other pieces of text on their designs. What this means is 2 bad things. Firstly, your audience isn't going to know where to look, and they're going to feel confused when they see your graphics. Nothing's going to stand out to them. They're not going to see something that's relevant to them, and they're going to keep scrolling or chuck your flyer in the bin or whatever graphic they're consuming. They're going to miss the point of it. Secondly, is it actually helps your designs to look far more interesting and professional when you have this contrast. So what I mean is having a really large heading, smaller subheading if that's needed, and even smaller body text. I want there to be a huge difference in the sizing. When you increase the sizing of your heading and decrease the sizing of your body text, your design will look far more dynamic and interesting without you having to add a whole lot of elements or pretty things to that design. I don't know how it makes sense. Don't ask me to explain the psychology behind it, but gee, it works. And I want you to start implementing that on your designs. So when you're checking your graphics, look, do I have size contrast between the pieces of text in this design? Next question I want you to ask is, what is my image quality like? Do I have high quality images? Or am I just using, I spoke about this last time, am I just using AI images that aren't high quality or that look kind of like telltale AI that's going to decrease trust in my business? Am I just using really poor stock photo or a graphic I found on Google? Please don't do that. It's illegal and it looks rubbish. Your 2 better options is to find a really high quality stock image. Canva has some great ones, or taking a great photo yourself, even if it's just on your phone. I gave you some tips on this in part 1 of this series, because if you're having blurry or amateur looking images, that's going to read as amateur no matter how well you design or how great your brand is. Number 3 is alignment. I haven't spoken about this yet either, but it's so important. A big telltale sign that you are an amateur that's just DIYing their graphics on a budget, which is what we want to avoid. We want to appear like we are trustworthy, we're established, we have a designer on our team, even if we don't. And a big telltale sign of this is poor alignment. Alignment means that things are lined up correctly in the design. Maybe you're like left aligning things. So like all of your pieces of text are aligned to the left of your design. And they're not just aligned, not all the text boxes are aligned left, but the text boxes are aligned to each other. And there's not one somewhere towards the middle and then one further away to the edge and one further across to the right. They're actually all aligned together. A big mistake I see people making, a lot of DIY students making, is that they're not doing that final check. And this really does have to be a final check sometimes. I want you to look, is all the boxes, all the pieces of text, all of my dot points, all of my little elements in this design, are they aligned well? They don't all necessarily need to be aligned perfectly to each other, but they need to be aligned to something. It needs to feel balanced. All right, this is hard to teach in like just a 2-second point. I have like a whole lesson on this inside my DIY Design My Biz course. If you're a student there, make sure you check that out because it makes a big difference. Because if your design is just all over the of place, your design looks unbalanced, and it's uncomfortable to look at. And when those three things are at play, your audience is far less likely to trust you and your business and go on to work with you. All right, and the last two ones for our polish pass, I have spoken about in the last episode, so I'm not going to linger on them. One is creating white space in your design, having room in your design that isn't full of clutter so that your audience's eye can breathe and rest and not feel overwhelmed. And lastly, having a consistent brand. Check, like I mentioned last week with our brand audit, checking that every part of your graphic is part of your brand. Are you using your brand fonts? Are you using your brand colors? Are you using your brand style? Because when those things happen, your designs will start to form a beautiful, strong recognizability with your audience. And so those are the 5 parts of the 5-minute check you can do to get your polish pass. I'm not going to give you a real pass. This is you kind of thinking, all right, I'm going to polish past my graphic before I post it to make sure it's perfect. And the best thing about those is they don't cost anything to do. These are things that you can do with your own graphics and your own eyes. And the beautiful thing is about this too is design is a muscle. Design is something that you can grow in and improve in. It's not like a skill that you're either born with or not. Design you can learn. And when you start to work out and check these things through when you're making a graphic, it's going to look a whole lot more professional, a whole lot faster. All right, now we're down to the most important part of this whole series that I think everyone overlooks. And it's the confidence piece, because I need you to commit to what you've built or the power will not be there. Because one of the biggest things I see when business owners create a brand or start creating graphics for their business, what's holding them back isn't necessarily the brand itself. Sometimes it is, obviously, but it's actually a lot of the time the owner's relationship with it. I've told a story before, you might have heard it, where my first few iterations of my business's brand, I was just not proud of. And it made me feel really unconfident as I was showing up for my business. I felt embarrassed to share my Instagram. I felt embarrassed to share my website. I just didn't connect with it. I didn't feel professional, didn't feel like me. And because of those things, I struggled to promote my business. And this is why confidence is really important, because if you're not feeling confident about the business and the brand you're putting out there, you're going to find it a whole lot harder to say and shout from the rooftops, hey, I'm amazing, come work with me. Because when you say that, you have nowhere to direct people confidently. Even if you have a website or you have an Instagram, if you're not proud of those things, if someone's like, you're a dog trainer and someone's like, oh, my dog's misbehaving, you don't feel like saying, yes, you should come work with me, because you know the first thing they're going to do is check out your Instagram or check out your website or check out your Facebook, and you don't feel proud of those places, so you're less likely to share it. This is a really big point I need to make sure that you're not letting stop you. Another thing I see business owners doing when they're not feeling totally happy with their business or their brand, or maybe they're procrastinating a different part of their business by editing their brand when their brand was actually already fine, is this constant tweaking. They're like, I'm just going to tweak this font. I'm just going to tweak this color. I'm just going to tweak. That tweaking is costing you valuable time, and it's probably not creating recognizability or consistency in your brand. Sit down, create your brand, and then use it. And use it consistently over and over and over and over and over again. And do you know what's going to happen? You're going to get so bored of your brand. You're going to get so bored of it because you're using it consistently. And that is a good thing, my friend. Let yourself get bored of your brand. Avoid constantly tweaking it. And when you do catch yourself tweaking your brand and tweaking that color or adding a new element or adding a new font or adding a new whatever, ask yourself, what am I actually avoiding in my business today? Am I avoiding sending a hard email? Am I avoiding doing this pitch? Am I avoiding writing a social media caption? Because sometimes we use design as a productive procrastination for something else that we really should be doing instead. So don't get caught constantly tweaking. And remind yourself that if you're feeling unsure about you're having trouble being confident in your DIY brand, remind yourself that people, your audience, they can't tell if you paid $10,000 for your brand or if you DIY'd it, if you DIY'd it well. By the way, if you do want to DIY your brand really well, I wasn't going to mention this, but I will. It feels like a disservice not to say it. I have a course. It's called DIY Design My Biz. And in here, I show you how to, the full process of DIYing your own brand in Canva. I'll take you through building strong brand foundations, choosing your fonts, choosing your colors as things that actually will attract your audience and go well together and are easy to use. I'll help you to kind of choose your brand elements, to create your brand logo. All of those things is all inside this course. I'll put a link for that in the description as well. But that course is like half the price, a quarter of the price of hiring a professional designer. And not only do you get a brand, you get the skills to create all your ongoing graphics for your business too. Because I want you to remember, your audience can't tell what your budget is. They can just see if it looks professional or not. And if you do DIY design well, maybe you've got support from a place like my course and you've done that process well, people won't be able to tell how much you spent. And so you can show up confidently with that. You don't need to say to yourself, oh, I DIY'd my brand, I need to get it done by a professional next year. I've had someone who has DIY'd their brand with my course 6 years ago. She's still using that brand now, and she's a 6-figure business owner. We don't necessarily need to pay thousands for a professional to have a great brand. And so don't let that be a stopper for you. I also want to make sure to remind you that you need to commit to what you have. That's where the power lies. I've mentioned this so many times, but there's power in consistency. There's not power in constantly tweaking or changing or getting bored. There's power in consistency. So keep that going. And remember to give your brand a fair run. Your brand isn't going to make you millions of dollars when you start posting it tomorrow. The power of a brand is the consistency, is the connection it forms with your audience. So give your brand a run, give it a fair amount of time to actually see if it's working. And if you're constantly drawing in the wrong clientele because your branding is purple and you really wanted to attract males in the army, then maybe you should reconsider tweaking that. But if you don't give your brand a good run, you're never going to be able to tell if it's creating connection and recognizability with your audience because you just didn't give it the chance. And I want you to remember, the goal is not perfection, okay? There are literally 100, 200, 1,000 really great brands that your business could have. Your job is just to find one of them, not all of them, just one of them, commit to it and use it ongoing because the goal is recognition. And that only comes through repetition and time. And so that's a wrap on our Building Our Brand, Your Brand on a Budget series. And if you haven't already, I've mentioned this in the past episodes, you must watch my free masterclass, Design Tools to Get to 100K. You're going to see some examples of that font contrast in sizing right inside that masterclass. I'm going to give you some more information around that, plus share with you the key to a really strong brand, give you some Canva shortcuts, give you some tutorials. So much is going to be in that session and it's totally for free. So make sure you check that out. And if you are thinking, Jacqui, you know what? I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to hire a pro, but I do see that this is important for my brand and for my business. And I would like to get some help to do this right the first time instead of wasting hours of my precious time or not showing up professionally and not growing those clients because I just can see that it isn't a great brand. I'd love to have you in my course, DIY Design My Biz. It is for every sort of business owner who just needs to finally start showing up like the professional that they are, and they're wanting to do that themselves in Canva to save themselves some dollars. You can start from as little as $97 Australian over a payment plan, so you can start having a really strong brand tomorrow. You can work through this course really quickly. You can get support from me and my team. There are tutorials, there's templates, there's everything that you need to succeed in building your own brand. So make sure you hit that course up. All the links will be in the description because sometimes you don't need to hire a pro. You just need intention, clarity, some strategy, and to know the actual steps you need to take. So I hope this series has given you some food for thought. It's given you some steps. It's given you some ways you can audit your brand, some questions you can ask yourself to polish up your graphics. Because what I want to do is make sure that your graphics aren't deterring your audience, but instead they're bringing people in, they're magnetizing your audience so that when they see something of yours, like we spoke about in the first episode, there are a lot of people seeing your things, but there's not a lot of people noticing your things. And if you are not getting noticed by your audience, something needs to change because otherwise your business is going to grow at a far slower pace than you are comfortable with or that you probably have the patience for. So invest in that good branding, invest in that logo, color palette, font suite, and style so that you can start creating graphics for your business that people recognize, that people are drawn to, that people notice, and that people cannot wait to work with because that is the power of a good brand. So thanks for joining me. Make sure that if you're not already subscribed, you jump on to whatever button is closest to you to do that because I would love to have you around here for the long term. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.